Welcome to Makeout Sessions, your 7 minutes in heaven, brought to you by Kiss and Tell. Today, we're going to be chatting all about stress reduction, and we're joined by wellness expert and MBC Arabia in Iraq host Mais Mohammed. Mais, welcome to Makeout Sessions.
Thank you for having me, Amy. It's great to be here, honestly, and I love the concept.
Well, I'm so glad to have you on. And, I've been thinking of you a lot lately, even though we're at a distance with you in Dubai and me here in the States, because I noticed that you have a lot of ways of helping in your business of coaching and wellness, of helping people really overcome these stressful times. And now that we're approaching that approximately 2-month point, or in some parts of the world, even going on their 3rd or 4th month of quarantine, I thought it would be really important that you come on and kind of give our viewers some advice and tips of how to cope in these tough times.
I mean, it's a great question, Amy, and it's true. I mean, it is a tough time because it's a change of habit and people are outside their comfort zone. All of a sudden, our comfort zone is what we're used to, the habits, the routine that we're attached to. And all of a sudden, this routine just changed overnight. So I'm sure by now, people have adapted to a new habit, to a new lifestyle, to a new routine. So for most people, they kind of got used to the new lifestyle they have, which is the quarantine lifestyle. And for the other half of the people, it doesn't matter how long they're going to stay into quarantine, they're never going to get used to this new habit. So I always say that the environment outside of you is not as important as the environment inside of you. So the reality that we choose to create happens inside out, not outside in. And that is the most important part. It is very important for us to always feed our minds and create the reality we would like to live in. And what I mean by that is that a lot of people get confused by the word create your reality. And it's understandable why it's confusing. And just to clarify what I mean by that, as in, at this moment, if you were to think about the future and the anxiety you have about it, or the pain of the past and the situation that you're in, what you're actually experiencing is your thinking, is that moment. So you are creating that experience of anxiety that hasn't happened yet in the future, and you're experiencing it today. So you can actually create the opposite, a great future, which you can experience today, by simply thinking about it in a positive way. So I hope that clarifies on how to create that reality that you choose to create in the future and experience it in the now today.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely am a big believer of creating my reality and also of being present and in the now. I think that's really important in life in general. And I'm feeling it, just in tenfold in these days where I've been home all of the time. But I think for myself, being an entrepreneur, it's been something that I've had to seek on the inside for many years. And leading a company, you need to seek that out from yourself and create that reality to kind of keep moving forward. Now, one of the things that I love is how you offer so many techniques like the EFT and breathing sessions and things like that in these kind of bite-sized consumable clips on your Instagram. Now, was this content something that you had been doing for quite some time, or was it more prompted by everyone being at home and remote and you wanting to be able to offer people something or a better way to approach their new lives?
I'm going to be very honest with you, Amy. It didn't start because it was prompted by the COVID-19 situation or the quarantine. It actually happened by utter chance. It started off by one day I wanted to share a tip of face dunk challenge. And that's when all the sessions started after that, if you look down into my Instagram. Now, I thought that it would be nice to share a tip about dunking your face in ice and the benefits of it. Then I realized that the engagement of people was really high, and a lot of people started asking, what more tips do you have? And it was because of the people asking for more sessions and asking for more tips, it encouraged me to start giving as many tips as I can, sessions that are doable on video, that people can follow along. And honestly, I'm kind of running out of sessions here, but
well, the beauty of the sessions are that anyone who's viewing can also repeat and kind of work them into more or less prompts in their daily life. So I had actually joined you for a couple of your breathing sessions remotely, and I've actually chosen to repeat one of them numerous times. And that was something that I felt was really, it was just something that I could easily add into my day-to-day schedule, and almost like just a simple reminder, a simple guidance, if you will. So, I mean, I definitely don't think you'll need to come up with new ideas constantly, but just, repurposing the same content. It's really helpful, just as a general consumer of wellness.
I agree 100%. I agree. And this is what I'm going to keep on doing, because I realize that most people have absolutely, just like you, it's an added value for their day-to-day lives.
Exactly.
And they really appreciate it and they love it. And this is what I do, honestly, that the reason I'm out there, the purpose that I have, is to see people really find an opportunity to release their worries and stress. So if there's anything that I could offer them that can help do that, whether it's 10-minute breathing session on Instagram or 5 minutes, or just a simple EFT technique that they can do, and it really impacts many lives. And I thought that this feedback has energized me during the quarantine, honestly.
Absolutely.
The free webinars that we've been giving, the talks, the lives that we've been doing, the concepts that you've come up with as well, and the stuff that we're doing right now.
Thank you. Well, and diving a little bit more into your life coaching side of your career, I also noticed that on your site, maismohammed.com, for the viewers, you're offering actually a video subscription for people to become their own life coach. So I was hoping you could share a little bit about that, some of the experience that a user might get on that compared to, say, like working with you in person or via like a virtual Zoom session.
So the video course is called the SNP Breakthrough. And the reason why I called it SNP is Switching Negatives into Positives. And that's the latest video course that I have on my website. Now, the website, the online store actually has a bunch of audios that you can find. The audios are pre-recorded sessions that I would actually do with my clients if I were to with them face to face. And the reason that it's audio is because usually in these sessions, I require the client to close their eyes. And that's when I came up with the ideas. And since their eyes are closed, I technically and physically do not need to be there. My voice is what's guiding them. And that's how the concept came up. So you'll find sessions like Heal the Wound of a Broken Heart, Release Anxiety and Stress, Sleep Hypnosis, which obviously your eyes need to be closed and you'll be sleeping after that.
Yep. So
these are the audio packages. The video course, the one that I was talking about earlier, Become Your Own Life Coach. Now, in that course, it's pre-recorded, and I teach you how you basically become your own life coach, in the sense of how you understand your own mind, figure out how to control your emotions, figure out how to solve your own problems. Where is the root cause of the problem? And when you do find it, what do you do with it? How to drive yourself forward. So it is a teaching and an awareness of neuro-linguistic programming, which is the programming of your mind. Mm-hmm. And then after the learning of that, you learn communication. So that's fantastic for relationships. And then going on, I teach you a little bit about goal settings, of how to create your goals into reality, and the right way of setting your goals, and really like implanting that seed into your mind. And then you can nourish it and grow it so that you can expand and grow in your future. So it's a wonderful course. And the difference from this course to one-to-one coaching is, to be very frank with you, 80% is in that video course.
Oh, wow.
20% that happens after. Yeah, it's a big chunk, because whatever I say, if they were to take the one-to-one live call with me, the first 6 sessions would be that video course. Uh-huh. And then the last 4 sessions would be the one-to-one cleanup. So that's why I even have an offer on it that, take the video course and get 50% off of one-to-one coaching if you'd like to continue after the course.
Exactly. And that is like I like how you say a cleanup or a little like refresher, because it's almost like if you're somebody who's getting into fitness and you're working out and doing classes and things at the gym, but even once you kind of accomplish certain levels, it's good to check back in with a trainer ever so often, who's going to just like give you that refresher and fine tune your muscles. So in this way, you're fine tuning the mind. So I really like that. Now, with everything that we do here at Kiss and Tell and Makeout sessions, it is always romance focused. And you did talk a little bit about how you have different programming for heartbreak. But what are some of the other challenges that you're discussing most with your clients that are related to either couples or singles, but romance?
During this time or generally speaking?
Let's start with right now. Obviously, you know, I'd say right now the set of challenges are unique, but I think they're almost like exacerbated versions of what you'd be facing anyways in the real world.
You can categorize it in three different people. So you have the singles that are usually reminiscing good memories of their past. So they tend to cling on old relationships, or they have that urge to call their exes or really old exes, you know, or just trying to get out there because they're alone. So they fetch for that old sweet memories. Then you have category number 2, which are the ones that are in a relationship, however, quarantined in different either apartments or countries and away from each other. So they also have an issue in terms of communication because they're not together, they're apart. Mm-hmm. Then you have the third case scenario where you have the couples that are living together, and because they're together 24/7, you know, they're sick and tired of each other, and the problem starts because of communication. So if we kind of drop it down here, all three of them have one thing in common, and it's communication. The first and the singles is communication with themselves, is trying to communicate with the void they have within themselves, filling that void in order for them not to cling on their past. The second is communication with the relationships that are in two different quarantine places. It's also self-communication to understand the situation and ease themselves, as well as communicating with the partner in regular timings, because it is also not a great thing. It's toxic, actually, if you don't stay in touch with your loved ones a decent amount of time. But that's for the couples to agree on. And the third case scenario are the people that are living together, but because they're together 24/7 of the day, they tend to clash in terms of communication. It's too much. They're in their space. So they need to communicate to each other of how to respect boundaries, how to respect each other, even though they're in the same space, same environment. That's the common problem. Communication, communication, communication. So
interesting. And
it's just different communication, different ways. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I think communication is so important in like every facet of life, but it's so interesting what you were saying. And that really gave me some perspective, you know, looking at myself like, okay, well, thankfully and not thankfully, I guess, is I work a lot. So I haven't had the time to be, you know, reverting back to say Instagram or Facebook and looking through people's accounts of my past. But I definitely know that some friends are. On the second level, you know, I'm not in a long distance relationship, but I have been dedicating more time to communication with loved ones who are here, who are not physically quarantining with me. So I think that really, you know, the attention to communication in so many ways would be important. I'm quarantining with my brother, so you know, we probably also have some things that we need to work on communication wise here in the house too. So that is so true. Well, thank you so much, Mace. This really gives me tremendous perspective on all of, you know, just kind of a way to better ground myself during these times, and really kind of, I'd say, all of your work is really relevant to any time in life. So, you know, one of the things that I'm hoping, kind of a silver lining in the cloud out of all of this with coronavirus and the social distancing that we've been doing all over the world, is that hopefully it's given people a chance to reflect on their lives and maybe pay a little bit more attention to their own wellness. And I hope that those habits are able to continue, you know, moving forward when things start getting back to normal. So that's, I don't know, just my 2 cents in this space. But thank you so much for joining me today. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I love what you mentioned about that, because you also mentioned that, you know, with the social distancing and people being apart. And honestly, I really think that, at least from my personal experience, or what I've noticed, is that during this quarantine, the social distancing that happened actually got people closer together.
I believe that too.
Yeah, the reason why is because in order to take that initiative to call someone on video or call them, before everything was just texting, I'll meet you later, and a busy life, and you're running there.
Yeah.
But even now that you're running your busy life from home or from your office, which by the way is great. So people that are reminiscing their past, please do keep yourself busy on a schedule, because
Absolutely.
that's very healthy. I think that I've really gotten much closer to a lot of friends that I didn't think I'd be very close to. And now we have our morning coffees together. We have, and that's virtual, of course.
Yeah.
And we have our evening on the Netflix party that they have. We watch them together.
Nice.
The Zoom calls that are happening, the people coming together on social media. So I kind of think that it created a closer bond.
Absolutely.
But then again, the closer communication.
It's definitely a new sense of community, shall we say? But I think it's creating that urgency for people to prioritize true connections and not those that are the superficial. And and that's one of the things that, in being in the wedding space, so many people will ask me, oh, what do you think of the future of weddings and this and that? One of the things I also hope, beyond that silver lining of just people caring for their wellness and caring for themselves better, is that they do prioritize, and the prioritization of these relationships really lasts well beyond when things come out of return to normal and so forth. I think our civilization will be better. I think people will be more motivated if you really are able during this time to identify who matters to you and continue surrounding yourself by those people who matter for years to come. And who knows, we'll see what kind of goodness comes from the world when everyone's priorities are a little bit realigned.
Yes, I hope so.
Yeah. Well, I think our time is about up, or maybe a little bit over time, but thank you so much for joining me again, Mace. This was such a pleasure talking wellness, stress relief. We all need to check in with ourselves from time to time. So you've been a tremendous help. And more from Mace, you can check her out on MaceMohammed.com, or she and I will be hosting our Instagram live after party, and we can be followed at the handle Do You Kiss and Tell, and Mace's handle is at Mais Mohammed, correct?
Yes, correct.
Perfect.
The big heart.
Perfect. So looking forward to all of you tuning in, and make sure you come with questions. So we look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Mace. Take care.
Thanks. See you guys soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.